I asked Microsoft's Copilot, aka ChatGPT, for the best selling makeup products in each category. And then went through my collection, found the products, and today I'm going to do a try on. I'm wygowarrior, aka Julie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, WYGO stands for When You Get Old. Alright, let's get started. First off, I want to explain how I went about doing this. I went to my browser and typed into the Copilot artificial intelligence / ChatGPT search box. I asked it to give the best-selling makeup products in every category. What I found interesting is it didn't include eyeliners, it didn't include highlighters, and it didn't include contour bronzers. And to me, those products constitute a full face of makeup. It also didn't include a primer, so I asked it to provide the best-selling dewy primer, and I did not select whatever it said number one was. I looked at what it produced for the products, and if I owned it, I was so excited. And what surprised me is I owned a lot of the products that came on their list. What surprised me is that this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter was not on the list. I was shocked and surprised. Alright, I haven't used this in a hot minute. Let's give it a try. It's a little orangey, but it blends out. Let me know if you own this product or have given it a try. Alright, let's see. That should be enough. I'm going to grab a brush and get it all over my face. Now, Copilot only listed 2 foundations, and I didn't own either of them. So I asked it a separate question. I asked, what are the best-selling foundations for dry skin? Here are those results. And luckily, I had one of those foundations. I haven't used this in a long time. This here is from L'Oreal, and this is the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I have it in the shade 415. I really hope this shade will be good for me because I self-tanned yesterday, and I don't know if this is going to be too light. Yeah, it looks a little light. But guess what? We have a couple bronzers, and we'll fix that situation. I'm going to grab a damp sponge and just get everything really pressed into my face here. This foundation is nice. On camera, my lights are really washing me out. It's a half a shade too light for me, but on camera it looks like I'm Casper the Ghost. Now for concealer, I was surprised that I actually owned one of the products on the original list, and that is from NARS. This here is the Radiant Cream Concealer. I have it in the shade Light 2 or Vanilla. I have owned this for a couple years. I don't reach for it, and I want to say that means it's not the best for me and my dry skin, because if it was good, I would use it all the time. Let me just, shake it up and cross our fingers that maybe I forgot and it was really good. But my guess is probably not. I don't know. Hopefully, it's one of those concealers that maybe back when I was using it, I put too much on, or I didn't let it set down to dry. Notice that some concealers work better if you kind of let them sit and don't, go immediately in, and then they don't provide coverage. All right, let's assume that's the case. And let me share with you how certain brands repeated themselves throughout different categories. NARS is one of those brands. All right, I'm just going to take a brush and let's see if hopefully I didn't wait too long before blending this in. Let me know, do you use the Radiant Concealer, or have you used the NARS Radiant Concealer? Do you use products from NARS? I know like circa 2017, 2018, NARS was like one of the top kind of brands. It was everyone was using certain products, but today in 2024, I don't hear people talk about NARS as much as they used to. I'm now questioning if Copilot is not up to date. I didn't say in 2024 because we're only into April and I didn't want it to pick new releases that I didn't own. All right, let's move on to bronzer contour. Copilot shared these products with me, and luckily I actually own a NARS Laguna. It's an itty bitty teeny weeny little sample. I want to say I got this maybe in my Sephora birthday gift. I can't remember. But then I also have this product from NARS, which is also called Laguna. This is the cream bronzer. I haven't used either of them in quite some time. And honestly, this shade is looking better than the powder shade. This is looking a bit dark for me, but I'm going to go in and use the cream product first, and then I may apply some of the powder product next. All right, hopefully this brush isn't too dense. I think this is meant for foundation, but let's give this a try. Okay, really pretty. I love the concept of this video, not so much for the AI piece, but where I'm shopping my stash and pulling out products I haven't used in a really long time. So I recommend that you guys give this a try. Either shop your stash, or if it's too, boring, you don't feel like it, go into either ChatGPT or the Microsoft Copilot and just play around. It's really fun to see what the responses are. And if you don't like what they come back with, you can refine your search. You can say, show me additional products. Show me products in a certain price range. I didn't. I just asked for best-selling. But yeah, it's really fun to go through your collection and remember certain products that you own. I think I'm also going to use the powder version just because I'm on camera. The lights are really bright, so we might as well just add a little. Just going to brush it on top. Yeah, it is a little darker, but on the skin, it's not as dark as it looked in the pan. And I have bangs, but I'll just take whatever's remaining up top. All right, now for the blush products that Copilot listed. Again, I was lucky enough to have one of the blushes on the list. And again, it's a product from NARS. This here is also a very, very small sample size of the iconic NARS blush in the shade Orgasm. I don't reach for this very often, so again, I'm glad for this video. The question is, will this very large brush even fit into this teeny tiny pan? Let's see how pretty this shade is. It's probably not picking up too much on camera. It's very subtle and giving, I don't know, I'm loving this shade. It's perfect for spring, and it's not too heavy if you want to, go into the office, you don't feel like looking super glam. It's gorgeous, and it does have a nice subtle sheen. And I want to say, but don't quote me, considering this product came out in 2016, 2017, a few years back, before the trend of the glowy, shimmery skin, I think they were one of the first brands to add a little sheen to blushes. So leave me a comment if I'm totally off, but that's my recollection. All right, let's finish that up. And oh goodness, my under eyes are a little dry and looking a little crepey, but I'm 57 years old and I'm used to that happening. I was super excited to see a highlighter that I actually own on the list that Copilot provided. And it is a newer launch, meaning in the last 2 to 3 years, not something from 2017 or 2018. And that is the Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter from Rare Beauty. I've used this highlighter in several videos. I love it. It's a really finely milled, really gorgeous, soft, kind of champagne with a ever so slight pink undertone. It just looks gorgeous, at least on my skin tone. Does not emphasize my texture, and gives a nice, if you like a nice kind of bling from outer space, this is the highlighter for you. Look at that. All right, so that I don't have a stripe, I'm going to take the same sponge that I used for foundation and the bronzer and just use the end that doesn't have color on it and just kind of press that in. That is looking super blingy. All right, moving on to eyeshadow. So when I originally asked Copilot to give me products for a full face, it only listed 2 for each category, and it left off numerous categories. I didn't own either of the eyeshadow palettes that it listed, so I asked it for additional eyeshadow palettes. And I was lucky enough to own one of the palettes that it shared with me. That is this palette here from MCGRATH. This here is the Mothership 9 Huetopian Dream. I must say I was really surprised not to see any palettes from Natasha Denona or Huda. It's very interesting to me, the palettes that Copilot said were the best selling. Let me know if you own any of those palettes, or if you agree with me that some of those palettes are not as popular as you think other palettes are, or maybe I just am totally out of it. That is very possible. I'm going to try my best to do a very quick eye look, because I noticed when I do videos, what makes them so long is when I apply eyeshadow, and I have a feeling this is already going to be a long video. Nobody has time for that, so I'm just going to quickly throw together an eye look. And while I'm doing my eye look, I might as well tell you my impressions of some of the products, or actually a lot of the products that were in the what Copilot said. A lot of them were really bougie brands. I'm talking a lot of Giorgio Armani, a couple from Dior, some Bobbi Brown, very few, drugstore. L'Oreal, and I think I saw something from Maybelline, but nothing else like that stood out from drugstore. Oh, there was a couple of e.l.f., but yeah, a lot of very bougie, like stuff that you would only get if you shopped at like Nordstrom or I guess Sephora, and not as many products that you would find at Ulta or the drugstore. I was asking Copilot for the best selling. So these products apparently sell really well. And a lot of you out there spend the big bucks on Giorgio Armani, which good for you. Me, I'm more in the e.l.f., L'Oreal, and Maybelline type of products. Yeah, I am currently using a Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette, but that was a splurge. My collection, honestly, is a blend of drugstore, mid-tier, and a sprinkling of some high-end. Let me know, do you lean towards one spectrum more than another, or are you like me where your collection is pretty much a mishmash of all of the different levels of makeup? I would say that's probably more the norm. You know, whatever's trending, it could be something from e.l.f., and then the next day it's something from Tarte or Charlotte Tilbury, and you just hop on that trend. Hello, yes, I'm on that train as well. All right, I guess I have my brow bone to do. I'm going to go back into the Rare Beauty highlighter, because that is beautiful, not only on the brow bone, but let's start first in the inner corner, and then whatever's left, I'll just gently get a little up top there. There we go. And I'm going to go back in. I'm going to use the same brush. When I applied that one shimmer. So let me show you what is on my eye. So I used this, it's hard upside down, this shimmer here first, and then I went into this really light one. But I used my finger on that kind of pinky shimmer and not blending so well using my finger. So let's just do a better job with a brush. Really pretty. I'm going to go back in using that deepest shade because I lost that when I added the shimmer. And then I think I'll be done with this eye look. Again, eye looks take me a long time, particularly when I'm talking. Alright. And we'll grab the first big fluffy brush and just kind of blend, because that is looking a little, I don't say patchy, and not from the eyeshadow, from my method of application. Alright, good enough. Let's move on and take a look at which eyeliners that Copilot said were the best selling. So I came upstairs into my beauty room to start this video, and then as I was pulling the products, I realized I didn't have a gel eyeliner or a liquid liner because Copilot never included eyeliners in with a full face of makeup, which I thought was odd. So went back downstairs, did my searches, and this is what Copilot came up with for eyeliners. So it listed, and this surprised me, ColourPop really high up, and then thank goodness it had Maybelline, because I do own 3 of the ColourPop Crème, what are these, Crème gel eyeliners, but I don't own a black. But I do own black in a Maybelline one, which is really old and it's like broken. The inner actual eyeliner is falling out of the outer plastic part. But let's do some swatches on the ColourPop ones and see if any are going to be dark enough for me to use. Alright, so I have a warm, dark chocolatey brown, a more cool tone chocolatey brown, and what was kind of dried out and I had to rub really hard to get the color payoff is a kind of aubergine, eggplant, kind of a purple. I never wear brown, but it's pretty dark, so let's give it a try and we'll see what I think about it. I swear at one point in my life I owned a black one of these and I can't find it, so it either emptied or I threw it out because it dried out, or maybe my memory isn't what it used to be. I would say that worked out great. Is it as dark or as deep as I normally like? No. But it doesn't look bad. Alright, so here is what Copilot said were the top selling liquid liners. Yeah, I didn't own any of them, although I think it's number 5, the Maneater from Tarte. At one point in my life, I had a travel sample size. I couldn't find it, but I think I emptied it. So what I'm doing is kind of cheating. This is another liquid liner from Tarte. This is easy on the eyes. We're just gonna go with this one and pretend it was the Maneater. Alright, on to lipstick. I actually own one of the lipsticks that Copilot listed in the original search results, and that is this lipstick here from Charlotte Tilbury, which is the Matte Revolution, and I have it in the shade Pillow Talk. I was really surprised that this basically was the only Charlotte Tilbury product to make any of the lists that Copilot listed out for me. This shade is perfection with this eyeshadow palette. Maybe Copilot knew what it was doing. Alright, in the last category of lip gloss, which again wasn't listed as a full face product, I had to ask a separate question. Thankfully, I owned this product, and actually I was shocked and surprised to see it on the list. That is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. And I recently filmed a different video where I used this same gloss, which I hadn't used in a while, And I'm super happy because this is fantastic. It's only like $8, $9, and wait till you see what it looks like. First off, smells really good. Has that kind of classic cake batter, frosting, vanilla scent. Super comfortable. If you like a shimmer shine, it has little particles of glitter that you can't feel, but hits the light and just looks spectacular. All right, let me pop off camera, touch up my mascara, and then I will come back and give my final thoughts. All right, so here is the final look. Let me know if you own any of these products or if you used to own them because they're a little passe and you've either hit pan or they went bad and you threw them out. I kid, but I don't know. There's something about the classic NARS. It's really good. But again, from like 2016, 17, 18, and here it is 2024. So I question Copilot. Or I could be totally wrong, and maybe those are still best sellers. Let me know what you think. I must say this was really fun, and I was shocked that I actually owned so many of the products that it listed. I did have to cheat a little bit when it came to the eyeliner, but hey, I wasn't gonna buy anything. So considering I had everything else, I'm kind of impressed, but then also like, oh girl, you shop too much. All right, I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so by now, I would love if you would subscribe. For those who have, thank you so much. Remember to click the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. And if you could do me a big favor, I'm talking easy peasy on your part, but it has huge impact on my channel, and that is to click the thumbs up button. All right, thanks everyone.